stuff. But what I can't see is that we'll still be left with the problem with having to deal with the other system that is more powerful, and it will intend to keep us from having our way. And so, you know, whether we're fighting it as individuals or a group, we've still got the problem. So I don't know what you think about that, Jack, but so I can see both sides of it. I can see it's like, in a way, we have to take it on in both directions at the same time, to challenge and create.
Sorry. Sorting out the money for the chips while you're busy talking politics. I'm terribly sorry about that. I was listening. No, I entirely agree. It's so this is why I want to bring this to the table. This needs to be discussed. This needs to be brought. We have been discussing this today within. I
just think there's the number of people that you kind of like hearing about who are making moves to challenge what we've got in so many different ways. We know there's lots and lots of people out there, and it's just about connecting us up. It's about connecting us up into a kind of on an institutional level. I'm absolutely sure that's possible, and that psychologically will say something. It will have to say something, and maybe that's the challenge that's needed to be able to get something going, which is they fucking have to take up, have to listen to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not suggesting backing down in any sense at all. Just to counter Wobbly's point there, that backing down from bullies empowers them. This is the whole point. This is if you are forced into a position of defence, then you can either assume a position of aggressive offence to defend that position, or you can simply stand your ground. My suggestion is that we simply stand our ground. We know that we are sovereign.
Yeah.
But none of us want to impose that sovereignty upon anybody else. We're not anybody's rulers, nor are we anybody's slaves. And so it's very hard when we are forced to operate within a single system, and especially if that system we disapprove of wholeheartedly. Then if we have no system of our own, we have no alternative. We have to operate within their system. So what do? Do we resist their system? Do we fight it? Do we try and tear it down? Do we try and improve it? Or perhaps make our own sovereign system?
Well, we've got to do that anyway as individuals, don't we? We claim sovereign right to our free nature.
Yes, I entirely. I mean, this is the point was made the other night in the chat box that laws are useless because good men won't need them and bad men won't be reformed by them, I believe was the quote. And I must admit that my experience is the same. But I do feel that if we can come together, okay, if you've got a society, if that society is all-embracing and accepts all comers, but that society is endemically without crime, because it is based on honour and is not driven by debt-based money
at all.
Well, I think that there has to be a means of exchange. There always has to be a means of exchange.
I think that can go.
I believe it can do as well, but not until the entire system goes.
It'll go slowly.
But
basically you're looking at a system that slowly winds down what we now know into something completely different, which means no money at the end of the day. It's nothing to do with money at all. Money is just something abstract. It's kind of it brings in the notion that you've got to get something from someone else that you need to live on. It's just...
No, I like to refer to them, as you know, as slavery exchange units.
Yeah, exactly.
That we exchange our more expensive rate of slavery for a slightly cheaper rate of slavery somewhere else in the world when we buy our goods from the Far East.
Yeah.
Or
and the same is true of like what we might call criminals now. In a system where there's no judgment as such in terms of all the rules that we have now, but pure judgment based on whether you've taken something from someone else, and something that we can discuss, or you've taken a right away from someone else, and the growing and that those same people are going to be re-educated into how to live in a society. Slowly, you'll do away with prisons completely. You'll do away with the need to house anybody in an institution space that locks them all up together in the same place where they actually, in effect, they're in the university of kind of perverted logic.
Well, penal servitude, I doubt, is it. The old Folsom Prison song by what's his name? The old country and western singer.
Oh, yeah, Johnny Cash.
Yeah, Johnny Cash.
Yeah, with stuff. Yeah,
that certainly comes to mind whenever I think about penal servitude. We've both now seen the inside of a prison cell, Phil.
I went singing in my own way.
Yeah, but how do you feel? How do you feel your mind would cope with that kind of condition for any longer than the night that you spent there?
I failed within the 24 hours anyway to cope with it. So
it does get easier, I must admit. Those first few hours and days when the doors are going bang,
I think
is a terrifying experience.
Yeah. I think psychologically, if you know that you're going to go for a lot longer, then you're going to deal with it in a completely different way. For me, it was the first time I've been behind prison bars. And it was a bit of a shock, to say the least. Yeah. So it was a surprise. I didn't deal with it very well at all. And although I had to keep joking with myself to stay half sane. But I wouldn't. How would I cope with? What was your question?
No, well, just I suppose it was just to extrapolate your one night's experience and just to now imagine the life of the long-term prisoner and how we can possibly expect somebody to emerge from those conditions in any sense sane, in any normal reading of that word.
Like everything else we're talking about, I think we're not talking about something that's going to happen overnight. And anyone who, if we managed to come together in some way and form an alternative society, a lot of people who don't know what's going on now will see it and will ask questions and maybe tag along and start learning what we're going through. In the same way, prisoners who are in the system now, they're going to learn slowly. Same as the prison officers, there's no difference as far as because they've both been brainwashed into a system that they can't see a way out of, in a way. So it's slow. It's a kind of slow process, but you get people come through it. You get attractors, don't you?
Leave me alone about my squeaky bloody chair, Kaz. You know I'm a fidget arse. I had to change my office chairs because the one I'd been sitting on, I spent so many hours at this bloody computer screen, all the cushioning had gone out, and I was having to sit on a pillow and a blanket and God knows what to do with my shows. So I stopped it for this one, and it's now. Let's see if I can get it to go. Oh, it's not doing it now. That's you. You must have oiled it with your love, dear. You've oiled my squeaky chair. Psychically, that was a remarkable thing. But
there's an alternative. There's one group put forward an alternative bank system, haven't they?
Yes, the BCG, the British Constitution Group, have already.
They've gone to the Bank of England to kind of put forward as an alternative.
I must admit, I haven't read as much as I should have done on it. I have looked.
It's like they've put in an application for it.
Yeah,
which to me. Why bother even?
But this is exactly what I'm suggesting, is that we need to establish new systems that are legitimate under their bloody rule of law, so that they cannot deny us.
So you think that sending in an application to the Bank of England for an alternative monetary system of banking that would have nothing to do with kind of profit as such is worth it?
If that legitimises it and enables you to do that without fearing arrest, then why not? If it's only a matter of paperwork, if it enables you to then establish your parallel system under your rules, not theirs, but simply applying
You're asking for their permission, sort of.
I know what you're saying. I appreciate that, but this is what I'm suggesting: is that if we need to ask their bloody permission, but that
humbly